Hello besties, welcome back again to my channel. If you are new here, kindly subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So on this today's episode tutorial, I'm going to be learning how to make this beautiful bubu dress like you see there. All right, okay. And for this tutorial, I'm going to be using this material. This is actually a kampala, but I'll advise that when you're making yours, please get an ankara because this fabric actually stressed me a lot. Then I'm going to be using this black plain material that I have, but I also advise you get a crepe if you are doing yours. Okay, and we're going to be needing our tape rule, our scissors, and our measurements. Okay, so that's what we're going to be needing for this tutorial. All right, so we're going to get right into it right now. Okay, so the Kampala, like I said, comes like this in this form. So I need to open it up. I'm going to be opening it up. I'm going to measure the length I want. Okay, so I'm going to open it up like you see me do, and I'm going to arrange it on the table, and I'm going to measure out. So for this tutorial, I would like to make the dress length to be 60 inches all the way down. Okay, so 60 inches all the way down. So you can also go ahead and take your measurements and note how long you want your dress. Okay, but for me, I want it to be long, like not so long, but at least long enough. So I'm going to measure how long I want it, and I'm going to cut it out. Okay, I'm going to cut out the excess. So after cutting it out, I'm now going to fold it into four, just like I'm doing. Okay, if you've watched my previous tutorial, I made something similar to this, but the short version, and I folded it into four. So it's just going to be the same method. Okay, so go ahead and iron your fabric just like you see me do. All right, the essence of ironing is to have a neat lines and also neat finishing at the end. So at every interval, don't forget, as a beginner and even as a professional, to always iron your fabrics. Okay, so right now I'm done measuring. So we're going to be measuring, inputting our neck measurements. Okay, so we're going to be doing the back first. So I'm going to be measuring 2 inches by I'm going to be doing 2 inches by 1.5 for my back neckline. We're going to be cutting out the back neckline first. All right, then later on we'll cut for the front. All right, so just go ahead and input your measurements and curve it just like you see me do. My chalk was misbehaving at this point. I apologize. So then I'm going to be imputing my shoulder measurement is 7.5 inches, is 15 inches. So I'm just going to be imputing it because it's going to be like a guide for me to also impute. This dress is cut together with the hand, okay, with the shoulder and the hand as well. They are all cut together, so it's going to guide me to also impute my how long I want my hand to be. Okay, so I'm going to form my shoulder, which is 7.5 inches. I'm going to measure another 12 inches. Okay, I'm going to measure another 12 inches just like you see me do. Then at that point, I'm going to be imputing my 1 inch. So the 1 inch is basically to allow me to join my sleeve. That's my sleeve when I'm ready to join it. Okay, so that's why I've imputed that 1 inch. Then for how long I want my sleeve to be, I'm going to be imputing 10 inches. I don't want it too long, and I don't want it to be everywhere, so I'm just going to be inputting 10 inches for that. So for this dress, I'm going to be using basically the largest measurement, which is the person's hip of 48 inches. Okay, So you can just go ahead and measure the largest part of the person, then impute it at your bust point and also repeat it at your hip and just get the right measurement. Okay, so at my bust point, I'm going to be imputing my largest measurement, that is my round hip, which is 48. So I'm going to be measuring 12 inches. Okay, so I'm going to impute this 12 inches all the way down, and I'm also going to be imputing 3 inches allowance. So that 3 inches allowance is just to give the dress a very free look. All right, I don't want it too big because the person wearing this dress is a pregnant person, so I don't want it too big for the person as well. Okay, so I'm going to be imputing the 12 inches all the way down so I can have like an accurate line, and I'm also going to be including my 3 inches extra allowance. Okay, so just impute yours, and I think you are done. From that our sleeve, we are going to now curve it to our measurement all the way down, just like you see me do on the video. Okay, so just go ahead and do yours as well all the way down. So just ensure that you're curving it to all the points you highlighted for your circumference measurements, just like I did. Okay, so at this point we are going to be cutting out our neck. We're going to only be cutting out our front neck for now. So we're going to cut out our front neck, and we're also going to cut out this area as well. Okay, at this point, if you've learned one or two from my channel, please kindly subscribe and join the family so you'll be notified whenever I post a new tutorial, and also turn on your notification bell as well. For my old subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate. So just go ahead and cut this part out. We won't be needing it, so just cut out just like you see me do all the way down to the top. All right, to your armhole, just cut it out. So I finished cutting now, so I'm going to be opening it up. Okay, so I'm opening it up this way. This will enable me to work on the part I want as my front. Okay, so just open it up. Like I said again from the beginning, all right, I will advise you get a an Ankara, a normal Ankara for this, and not a Kampala. This Kampala can be extremely stressful. Okay, so just go ahead and pin down. So I had to pin down because it was trying to be all over the place, so I had to pin it down to get my accurate measurement of what I wanted to do for the front. Okay, so just go ahead and pin down. So at this part I want for the front, I'm going to measure 2 inches. Okay, so I'm going to measure 2 inches, and I'm going to extend this 2 inches all the way down and cut out. So just go ahead and measure 2 inches. Okay, 2 inches. So I'm going to measure it all the way down, and I'm going to be cutting it out. So after measuring it down, I'm going to cut it out, all right, to that front, and open it up. So by the time we open it up, don't forget to remove your pins. So I'm going to be removing all the pins, then I'm going to now open it up for you to see how it's going to look like. Okay, so I'm opening it up. At this point you can see that it's already looking like a kimono, kind of. So this how yours should look like by the time you open it up. Okay, so these are our front. Okay, it's going to be like this. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and join our sleeve, that is the hand. We'll join it. I'm going to go ahead and fold it and on my machine, so you should go ahead and fold yours. I'm going to be using 1 inch to fold it, to join it, to turn it inside, and you see how it's going to be looking like. Okay, so I've gone ahead to fold in my sleeve parts so you can see how this how it looking like. I've also gone ahead to iron it. Okay, so don't forget to iron at every interval to have a neat finishing and also have a neat process. Okay, so I'm also now going to go and join the sides as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and join the sides. All right, I'm going to join it both sides. I'm joining this side and I'm joining the other side as well. Okay, so go ahead and do yours and don't forget to iron. So I've gone ahead to join it just like you see me do, and I've also gone ahead to iron it. All right, to have that smooth finishing. Okay, this is what mine looks like on the inside. I've joined it. You can see how neatly pressed it's looking. Okay, so don't forget to iron, it's very important. So now I'm going to be working on the pockets. So for the pockets, I've gone ahead to cut out this part for the pockets, and for this dress for the pockets I'm going to be using an 8 inches long and also an 8 inches wide, so it's basically 8 by 8. Okay, then I'm going to be imputing this plain fabric on it. So this plain fabric, it's cut 3 inches, so by the time I fold it to be half an inch. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and iron them. I'm going to be ironing that black fabric, and I'm going to show you by the time I'm done ironing it, and I'm also going to fold it. All right, so I'm going to be folding it. So this is what it looks like by the time I was done folding. I used the hemming gum to while I was folding so it could stick together, all right, and not be difficult by the time I'm joining it to the to this pocket. Okay, so you can go ahead and do yours as well, but it's okay if you don't have a hemming gum, you can just go ahead and fold it. So now I'm going to be measuring the parts like at the point where I'm going to be fixing my pocket. So for this I'm going to be fixing it at 17 inches. Okay, so I'm going to be measuring 17 inches. That's where the pocket will be fixed. Then from the starting line I'm going to be measuring 1.5 inches. Okay, so that 1.5 inches that I'm taking out from the center is where I'm going to start imputing the pocket from. Okay, I will measure it on both sides. Okay, so I can be able to fix it accurately. So just go ahead and measure yours 17 inches down, then from the center you measure out 1.5 inches. Okay, so at this point I'm going to go ahead and join the black fabric to the pockets. Okay, so I'm going to join it like this. So I'm going to pin it. I'm going to pin it so that it will be easy for me to join. So just go ahead and pin yours. Okay, pin it down. So yeah, I'm done pinning now, so I'm going to go ahead and sew straight, cut out the excess, and you'll see what it looks like. Okay, so now that I've gone ahead to sew it, you can see how neat it's looking. I also went ahead to iron it. So now I'm going to be pinning it at the point I want it to be. Okay, so just fold it in like you see me do. You can just push it in by half an inch, okay, so to give you that neat finishing. You can also have an option of folding it before you pin it down. Okay, you can go ahead and fold all by half an inch, then before you come and pin it down to your dress. Okay, so just pin it down like you see me do, pin it all the way down. Then by the time I'm done pinning it, I will go to the machine and sew it on the front panel only, please. Okay, so I'm done sewing it. You can see how it looks. Okay, so this is how yours should look as well by the time you're done. All right, ensure that you iron your fabric. So right now we're going to be working on our front. All right, we're going to be working on the front of our dress. So just go ahead and measure, yes, from this point all the way to the other side. We're going to go ahead and measure and get your total. By the time you get the total, that is what you're going to be using to cut your fabric, whatever fabric you are using to mix with your dress. Don't forget that this center we cut out 2 inches, so you're going to be measuring it 4.5 inches wide. Okay, and fold it. Why you measure 4.5 inches wide is so that it will, that half inch is what you're going to be using to join our fabric. Okay, so here I've gone ahead to cut mine. I cut it 4.5 inches wide and I fold it. I ironed it. This is the part where I joined it. I joined the black fabric to be able to get the length which I needed. Okay, so just go ahead and also do yours. All right, so open it up like this, the way you see me do, and lay it on your table, because at this point we are going to be measuring our neck, imputing our neck, and also we are going to be measuring where we want.
So we measure where we want our slit to actually begin from. Okay, so go ahead and measure your neck like this, your neck depth, how you want it to be. For me, I'm going with 25 to 26 inches. Okay, so go ahead and measure yours like so, and come back to our fabric. Then you're going to divide that measurement by 2. That is your neck measurement. So for instance, mine is 26, so I'm dividing 26 by 2 and I'm going to impute it right there and mark it. Then I'm going to also measure out where I want my slit to begin with. Okay, so if you want yours to be a deep slit, if you don't want yours to be so deep, this is where you can determine it. Okay, but for me, I'm going to just impute your measurement like this. I'm going to be imputing mine at somewhere around 39 inches. Okay, so I'm going to be imputing mine around 39 inches and I'm going to be marking it like so. So I'm going to go ahead to my machine and join it, this two part. Okay, to close it up at that area. So here I've gonna had to close it up. So now that I've closed it, I sewed it from this end to that other end, and I'm going to be opening it up like so. Okay, so just go ahead and open it the way you see me do. Okay, so by the time you open it up, this is how it's going to come out. Okay, don't forget to also iron by the time you are done. Okay, so this is how it's going to come out. So this is the parts I've joined, and this our neck opening, and down there is our slit opening. Okay, don't just worry, by the time you sew it and you open it, it's going to definitely come out like this. So back to our fabric, our material. that's our dress. We are going to now, at the neck area, we're going to get the midpoint. Okay, so I'm going to be folding it just like you see me do. I'm going to fold it into two to enable me to get my exact midpoint. Okay, so that midpoint, I'm going to notch it. It's going to guide me on how to fix my neck from the center back. Okay, so just go ahead and ensure that you are placing it rightly and you are giving it that notch. Then you open it up. All right, so by the time you open it up, you are now going to take your material and start pinning from where you joined it from. Okay, from the center. So where I joined it from is actually from the center, so I'm going to be imputing the center here and I'm going to pin it all the way down. Okay, so this is actually the essence why I cut on fold 4.5 inches. Okay, so by the time I fold, the left was left, I'm going to be using that 1/2 inch to join it on both sides. Okay, so just go ahead and pin it just like you see me do, all the way around. Pin it down, all right, so as to enable you to have a nice stitch. Okay, so the dress won't be moving so much when you're sewing. So just go ahead and pin it all the way down just like you see me do, and by the time you're done with this side, repeat it on the other side. Then I'll sew, go to my machine and sew. So yeah, that's how it came out. This is how it's going to be looking like. This is how yours should look like. All right, so I've also gone ahead to hem it down with 1 inch. I've gone ahead to fold it down at the hem parts. Okay, so go ahead and iron yours. This is how yours should look like, and even more beautiful than mine. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, guys, to this point. I really appreciate, and I can't say I love you enough. All right, so this is how it looks on the model. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.